Guys, I'm back. All right. So I apologize for that Facebook screen share extension not working. Next time I'll be using BeLive. You may not have heard of it, but that's what a lot of people use on Facebook for screen sharing for their live videos. But anyways, let's dig into this for the training. Um, I'm using Loom right now to record this. When I do that, you're going to lose this little bubble at the bottom with my lovely face. So sorry for that, but let's jump into the actual training. I mentioned before that um, you're going to be using DOS for this. Uh, I know that's really old school, but uh, let's jump into that. I just want to kind of really quickly go over where I got my data really quickly, though. I got this from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and this is for, of course, when anyone is filing for a trademark or a patent. Um, this trick doesn't have to be for that data, obviously, because not everyone cares about that. Um, I'm guessing that quite a bit of you are probably using Duck Soup to be able to scrape uh, visited data when you're visiting profile pages on LinkedIn, or you're using some other application on some other website. Anyways, the point is that whenever you are faced with having a bunch of like files with similar data, and you want to merge all that so that you can use it like in a master file, this is what you can use. And you don't have to use a database if you're not really comfortable with that sort of thing. And if you work somewhere where there's an IT department, you don't have to send it off to IT. I'm hoping I'm not getting you in trouble by going around IT. I would have never done anything like that. I probably did every day. Um, Anyways, let's go into DOS. I'm going to go to the you first got to go to search and then do CMD. So search on CMD, pull up your command prompt. You probably don't have it pinned to your taskbar like I do. I'm a nerd. CMD, command prompt, and then raw. So before you can begin, though, you need to go to where you have your files saved because you got to change your directory here in DOS. So let's go do that really quickly. I already have my folders open I want to show you. So I've created on the desktop a merge folder, and I already put like a few test XML files out here. Uh, I didn't want to put all of them in there because there's like 2,300 XML files that I pulled down from just one zip file from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. I just want to limit this to 64 because otherwise, one of the steps that I show you later, it's going to slow down and possibly freeze Notepad. But anyways, let's dig into this. So I'm going to go back over to this other folder here. So we've got so this, if you look up here, the address bar, HR180101. So that meaningless folder name is from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and they have not only this folder, but like, oh gosh, dozens of other folders out there too. Each one has at least 25 subfolders, and then within each subfolder, you've got more subfolders. Each one of these subfolders, though, actually pertains to the actual application that a company would have submitted to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Just really quickly, let's open up one. I want to show you what's in here. So we've got, whenever they applied, they were probably trademarking maybe like their logo. This is some other kind of collateral that they included with the application. I've seen one of these applications have like a photo of a bag of oranges. So I'm guessing that they're trying to trademark their packaging. All right. But we don't care about this stuff. The only reason you might care about this is if you decided to send a cold email campaign and you got a response from one of these guys, then you could always go back in and see what the heck they were trademarking and maybe use that to your advantage, I guess, possibly in your communications. If that made sense to you, you might think that's creepy. Uh, Whatever. All right, so I'm going to go back, though. This is the XML file. This is what you care about. But there are 2,300 of these in here, and I don't want to go ahead and move every single one of them over individually. So I'm going to show you a trick. I'm going to go back up to the parent folder, which are where we're at now. I'm going to go over here to my search field and put in .xml. That way we can find all the XML files in this master parent folder. And there we go. So I got 2299 items, as you can see down here. And I'm going to go ahead and Control A, so I can collect everything, and Control C, And then I would just dump all these over into my merge folder, right? I'm not going to do that right now, though. Again, I'm just going to use the 64 we got here. And now the next step, though, is I need to get the actual directory path for where this merge folder is. And as you can see right here, so the way that Windows formats this nowadays, a little bit more user friendly, a little bit more intuitive, I guess, to just show you, okay, this is this PC and this folder is out on the desktop. Whatever. Uh, I need the actual directory path. So I just clicked in there once. I'm going to go ahead and copy this because it already highlighted it for me. Pretty cool. Go back over here to the command prompt. And where we're at now in the command prompt is this is the default. This is my user account. So it's Margot. Margot is the name of my dog. And also my user account on my computer. So we're going to go ahead and do CD. That just stands for change directory. Drop in that directory. And now we're going to see this move over to the subfolders of the Margot account, which is desktop. So that's basically anything that's out on my desktop. And then this folder of merge. And now the next step is we're going to go ahead and drop in this line here. Copy. This is going to help us merge. And then I want all the files that are XML, and technically all the files that I have in that merge folder right now, they're all XML files. So the asterisk here, that's a wildcard character indicating for this line everything, right? So everything that's .xml and everything that's .xml within the merge folder. And then I need to give it a new name for this merge file. I'm going to call it merge.xml because that is super original. There we go. Now, before I create this, I just want to prove to you really quickly that I don't actually have this out here. So I'm just sorting here. I'll scroll down through here. I don't have it there, but now I will here in a second. After I hit enter, when I do hit enter, it's going to run through, it's going to cycle through. Oh, come on. What's going on? There we go. It's going to cycle through all of these files that are out in the merge folder. And then now we got a merge file here. There we go. So, okay, there we go. I'm going to close my command prompt. I don't need that anymore. I actually don't need this folder there either. Hey, I'm back. Okay, so my merge file. I'm going to show you two different ways that you can get this into Excel and extract the email addresses. First way, it's a little bit more, it's just an additional step. Let's see. So I'm gonna right click on this, open with, go to Notepad, give this a couple seconds to load. If this had been that full file from all the 2300 files, this would take much longer to load. It would actually probably start to freeze and then after like 5 minutes or something like that. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Maybe after like a minute and a half, it would stop freezing. Now I'm going to go ahead and Control A for all of this and dump this over into Excel, into my worksheet. And I think I mentioned on the live from my memory that we're going to go to columns G and H. That's where the email information is. And if I remember this correctly, it's going to be, we're going to filter on email authorized equals quotes yes. If I can only type equals quotes. And I don't want quote in, so that's where a company decided to opt out of sharing their email address. I think if I remember that correctly, if they did that, there's like some sort of a penalty. It's not a monetary penalty. It's something like maybe they might not be notified of the status of their application and they have to manually check it all the time. And if they don't, and then they don't file something additional later on, that they could essentially like forfeit their ability to continue the process of registration. I forget exactly what it is. I filed for a trademark before, but I don't exactly remember what it was now. Okay, so now let's hit yes. And we've got like what, 15 or, okay, 12. Copy that, dump it over into another worksheet here. Go back to sheet 1. Now I need column H. Do the same thing. Authorized equals, yeah. Okay, awesome. Select all these, dump them over into sheet 2, and we have some dupes in here. We're going to clean those out. select column A, and then I'm going to go over to data and remove dupes. There we go. So now we got 65. All right. Now there's another step, actually two more steps here. We want to get rid of this extraneous data because you only want the email address, right? So select column A, go to text to columns, keep this delimited, go to next. We're going to delimit by greater than symbol and less than symbol because that's what you're going to see at the end and beginning of these HTML tags, right? All right, let's start off with greater than. And you can see there's like a little preview here. So it's going to split off the emails here. Hit finish. I'm just going to expand this out here, make it nicer. And then I need to do the same thing for the less than symbol. So select column B, text to columns, limit, next, change the greater than to the less than, hit finish, almost done. Get rid of column C. And then now we need to do some additional splitting because some of these companies have where 2, 3, 4, however many individuals' email addresses listed. You're going to most commonly see that where maybe a company has one or more law firms that they're working with, and they've all included their email address. It's also possible, and I certainly see it right here in the cell that I'm highlighting. Certainly possible where there's maybe like 2 different people from the same law firm. So we got Adam and Jonathan from Page Business Law. They're both CC'd on this, and then we've got this additional law firm here. Anyways, we just want to parse this out, so we're going to go back to B, text columns, change that less than symbol to what is this, the semicolon, and then hit finish. And now we're pretty much done here for this is the first of the 2 options, right? Now I'm guessing, I'm willing to bet that now that we parse these out, we've got about 100 email addresses. So let's just highlight all these. All right, that's close. We got a count of 97 email addresses from just this, from the 64 that were in our merge folder. Okay, I'm going to move on to option 2 now. I'm going to open up a clean worksheet here. Now for this one, we're going to bypass that notepad file. What we're going to do is we're going to open it directly from the XML file. This is actually the way that I would probably do it instead of the way that I did it before. The only reason I would maybe do it via the notepad option would be what I'm about to show you is it's going to error out. And if you didn't know how to fix the error, I guess the best option then would be to try to open it up in Notepad, copy paste into Excel. So let's go to, so we're in data, then go to get data from file, from XML. And we're going to open up the merge XML file. I have to get that off of the desktop in the merge folder. We're going to open up that. Really quickly though, you're probably asking, all right, Chris, why did you not just use Excel to open up every single one of these files all at the same time? Like, can't you select this and then control C or whatever to select all these? No, I guess that'd be control A. I don't know. It's muscle memory at this point. I can't actually remember what it would take to collect all those files in one fell swoop. But that won't work if you're trying to import data this way. It will only import from one file, unfortunately. So that's why we had to go through that not nasty, I guess, that archaic process of using Microsoft's DOS. Okay, so I'm going to open up the merge file, import, connecting, and this is going to error out. Boom, timely, right? I knew that this was going to error out just because I think there's some additional white space in the file. Actually, let's look at the error message. XML declaration must be the first noted in the document. Doesn't mean anything to you guys. No white space characters are allowed. Yeah, so it could be that, I'm guessing. I guess maybe it's like the declaration in the first note or something like that had additional white space. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're going to fix this. We're going to get around this issue. I'm going to go into edit. I'm not going to sit here all day and keep retrying because we just can't get around that if we hit the retry button. I'm going to change this from open file as XML tables to text file. Let's try that. This should work. And how this is going to open up, it's going to be a little different. In the first method I showed you, it had the data displayed in multiple columns, and we used columns G and H. This one's going to import all the data into column A, which will be nice because then You only have to do one filter. Hit load, and it's going to open up in table format. Table format is just it's just a feature of Excel. And as you see here, these banded rows, so the alternating green and white, that's part of a table. Let's see here. Same thing as before. Email author equals yes. Oops, forgot the quotes. Yes. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned in the option that we showed you on the first go around, but I'll indicate it again here. I could have used some other string, like maybe I could have just searched on email. The problem with that is it's possible that there's some rows in here that have email, but they don't actually have the email address. I don't want that. I want the actual email address. So I had already dug into the file to find out what's the string, what's the opening tag for display of email addresses. And I found out, okay, it's email authorized equals yes. Okay, so that's why I'm searching on that. Hit OK, and then now I can just go ahead and grab this entire column of email addresses and then dump it over here. And then, as we did before, just remove dupes and then remove the extraneous email authorized equals yes opening tag, and then get rid of the closing email tag, and then parse out by the semicolon. Same thing as we did on the first option. So that is pretty much it. It's really not that much work. This just took me a little longer because I'm sitting here talking you through it. Once you do this once or twice, it won't take you that much time at all. But I know I mentioned to you before, this little trick that I'm showing you is really cool to use if you're using something like Duck Soup. If you're not using Duck Soup, well, stay tuned. We'll go through how to use Duck Soup. It's a pretty cool tool that you'll be using for LinkedIn if you're going to do any sort of network building there, and then also campaign outreach and whatnot. But that's it for now. That's all I really wanted to show you. So I'm going to end this, and just want to thank you for watching the first training video. Thanks, guys.